We return. At least some of us do. We're about to have a return with the next person. There's Inga. And Sam, hey, I don't want to say it's in character for him to be late to return from an outbreak, but it is. So there we go. Oh, I can see him. Coming through the door.
I feel like Matt derives a lot of glee from his little panopticon.
Oh, I do. I very much do. Yeah. But here he is. Only 5 or 10 seconds late. Yes. Not too bad. Your mic definitely throws a fit every time you are silent for a while and then return
when
to
I turn it back on. Yeah, I'll double check.
Yeah,
It's now doing the opposite of what it did last time.
Yeah,
Quite
before it was like
echoey instead of loud. And...
Yeah. Anyway, what I would like from you all is this huge cuddly shark slams onto the deck of the boat. Is the first thing I'd like is either a test of luck, or to say, nah, I'm not bothering, Matt. I'll take whatever this shark dishes out.
I'm not bothering.
Okay.
I will test the luck.
All good.
Ooh, double ones.
You know what I'd say, actually, Queen Katrina? No, I've already applied the malice to luck tests. I'm not going to take it off it. Never mind. Sorry, who? Inga succeeded. Sam succeeded. What about Captain Kakajan?
With only 5 luck remaining, I think I'll save it for something a bit more crucial, maybe.
Fair enough.
In
that case, Nelheim and Krongel are fine. You could just kind of like skid a little bit along the deck of the boat, but otherwise you're pretty okay. The other two, Queen Katrine and Captain Kakajan, could you both give me a D6 roll for me, please, and let me know what you're at? You don't need to apply the malice to it, John.
That is a 4.
5.
Okay, so you both rolled that. In that case, the shark does not knock you into the blue of the lake. Instead, it just hits you. It just either its bulk or its jaws. And when obviously if the jaws close on you, you're not pierced by them. They're like flappy felt teeth. But it's certainly pretty forceful. You know, it crushes you a bit, or the bulk crushes you a bit. Queen Katrine, have you got any armor?
I feel like I do. No, I do not.
Well then, can you please take 8 stamina for me? And Captain Kakajan, just same all round. Both of you take 8 stamina from the bulk of the shark kind of splatting you into the deck and sending you like sliding along, with various bits of you feeling quite a bit more squashy than they were before.
Well, I had recovered.
But hey, if you hadn't have eaten that then, you'd be even worse now.
I would,
right?
Yeah. No,
right?
It's it was the right call.
Was the right call. So, Krongel and Nelheim, we're not going to go into combat, but what would you like to do? The shark is like rearing around on the deck, and the fisher folk are kind of trying to prod it with fishing rods and spears and hooks and various sort of, boat things.
I would like to try and
ashamed.
I would like to try and cast Diminish, meaning that the shark would have to test its skill, I think, because it doesn't have luck, or if I succeed anyway, or it'd be half its size for 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, then, why don't you see if you can cast it?
I succeed.
Hey, take the stamina hit.
Mm-hmm. Just one.
And you know what? Yeah, you tell me how you cast this spell. What does Krongel casting a spell look like?
So first I straighten my hat after the shark had knocked me squiff, obviously. And then the staff with all the bells and things and other things, goes above my head, and I wiggle it around a bit. And then I put my other hand out at the shark, and then I go, and then it happens. It's all for show. I could just look at it and make it happen, but you have
absolutely
to keep up
a
appearance.
sense of mystique and
Exactly.
timing around these things. And your spell succeeds. The shark it's still pretty big because it was kind of like, kind of megalodon, larger than Jaws kind of size before, and now it's just kind of like a size of an actual shark, and it flops about a bit in clear distress and slides around on the deck a bit, and then just sort of slides backwards and plops into the surface of the lake. The fisher folk all kind of look around carefully, and the captain turns to you and says, "That's pretty bloody useful, isn't it?"
Yeah, works sometimes.
All right. How are your friends? Are you all right? You look a bit squashed.
I'm fine.
I don't think Akajan sort of knows how to respond to that question. I don't think.
Bubbles a bit at the edges.
Captain, you look a different shape to what you were before.
Shape is changeable.
I
Ain't
told
that
you.
the truth?
I told you not to pull attention to that. He's very sensitive.
The boat gets on its way again and bobs along the surface of the lake until it reaches the far shore. The fisher folk wish you well, give you cheery little waves as they head out back across the lake, leaving you on the far shore. Now, you've traveled for quite some way, and you don't have the kind of like time piece that the spelunkers have, but it's probably time to camp up, don't you think? Yeah,
that sounds fair. This seems like a fairly safe place to camp beside this lake. Quite peaceful.
It does. It seems fairly peaceful, at least.
The sound of lapping mattresses.
Yes, exactly. I mean, everywhere is fairly nice to lie down, at least here. So there is that. So on the shores of Blue Blanket Lake, are we just kind of taking a rest, maybe having a bit of a sleep and recovering ourselves, do we think?
I'll have another provisions as well, I think.
Yeah, okay. Well, then roll your d6 for your final for your last provision of the day.
I mean, if we're camping up, then you also get a stamina refresh.
Let him make the mistake.
I'm hungry.
I've used all of my limit already anyway.
Yeah. I think it 2d6 for a sleep overnight, right?
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
I could roll double one.
Are we making any kind of like prep? I don't want to go full Simbaroom survival thing here, but are we just like gathering into a little group and like dozing off on the surf, or are we?
Nellheim's got her tent, which is like more of the like fortune teller sort of thing, but she'll also have a little. She'll also use it to kind of fall asleep, and even if it's just sat on the chair, that they'll sort of pop up everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Anyone
else with any arrangements? Just gonna go to sleep.
Akajan will set up a little oil lantern that it has. Just for the warmth.
Like a great idea around here.
Yeah, but
fuck it.
Why would that be something they thought about?
Why would it be important?
The story becomes how the soft burns down.
Yeah. Yep. Kickstarter campaign cancelled, folks. Soft burn down.
Alex burned it down.
Astronaut coming back from the moon. Soft burn down. What? Soft burn down. The evening passes perfectly calmly, lulled to sleep by the soft noise of the blue sliding against itself, and you wake up feeling relatively refreshed, if still a little intimidated by your surroundings. 2d6 stamina recovery for everyone, please.
Does my malice apply to that?
No.
Of course, I roll a double 6 after using a provision.
So you get up in the morning. Is there anything anyone would like to do while you're still on the shores of the lake before you have to find a way onwards?
Can we still see the fishermen?
Yeah, you can still see fisher boats out. They're out of calling range now, but yeah.
I'll give them a wave, even if they don't see us.
Or maybe just suggest that we check the compass and the tog meter again before we set off.
The compass is pointing in the direction of where you can see quite a large opening leading off into obviously a smaller tunnel you're in. The Blue Blanket Lake has been the biggest area you've seen. It's still quiet.
What does the tog meter say when it slurps out of Kakajan's chest region?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't. It just apparently makes a noise, right? So.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
We're expecting to hear a sudden noise from within Captain Kakajan at some point that's different from the normal noises that come
If
from
I start
within
beeping
Captain
like a
Kakajan.
Geiger counter, then we'll know. Yeah. As long as I haven't broken it by submersing it in bodily fluid.
Yeah, we don't know.
While you wake feeling refreshed, Queen Katrine, you definitely had some unpleasant dreams that may or may not have featured white linen.
Yes, I I've been thinking on that and the words that the vagabond said to me about maybe having taken certain things from the soft that should have been left where they were. So I think I might. I'm not going to make a big show of it because I don't want the peasants to think that I think I've made a mistake.
Yeah, or that you hold unnatural superstitions.
No, of course not. But this piece of fabric that I picked up is obviously highly cursed and needs to go away immediately.
Okay.
So I'm going to sort of tuck it under the susurrating surf of Blue Blanket Lake and just sort of
let it kind of wash away.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like when you hide your phone under your duvet so that you forget about it. Just sort of, it's there now.
Assuming that I watch Magus do that, can I roll a second sight on the thing itself? Probably noting that you're now getting rid of it and it's been disturbing you or something.
Sure. Let's go ahead and make a roll.
Yeah.
You don't quite know what it is that Queen Katrine is tucking away underneath the surface of the lake. It doesn't look good to you. It definitely looks like it might have some kind of awful arcane arts practiced on it. It's probably a good thing to shove it away and forget about it, honestly.
Okay. I will shuffle over and just say, yeah, that probably was a good idea.
As for you, Queen Katrine, when you turn your back on the lake, you hear a little noise like a flute or a whistle receding into the distance. So, are we following the compass out and away from the shoreline?
Yes.
Okay. You head out into the tunnel, and it's basically is one long tunnel that you're in for really quite some time. In fact, 1 or 2 hours pass as you kind of stride along it, sometimes hunching, sometimes walking, sometimes even crawling. It has lots of kind of open, fitted blankets and undersheets and stuff hung along the side of it, some of which occasionally wave a bit in the very slight breeze you still feel from Blue Blanket Lake. What do you think you're doing to kind of pass the time as you walk along? Are there any kind of conversations or interactions that we might have? Because mostly we've been quite reactive, So is there anything that people would be saying to each other, or kind of conversations that spring up?
Krongel Pludge is incessantly beatboxing. He just found out about it recently and he's obsessed with it.
I mean, You can't just say that, Sam, and not.
No, come on. Commitment to the
Refuse to
craft,
comment.
please.
Refuse to comment.
Commitment to the craft. I like that your camera almost in sympathy
It
blurred
did. It's
out.
just like I'm just gonna fade out of existence now.
Come on, Sam.
I've never tried beatboxing in my entire life. I'm not
Well,
about that.
maybe
Well, it
Krongle
seems like a-
Well, now-
hasn't either, so it's
Seems like
perfect.
an ideal
You can't
time.
make me do
You know what
this,
they
no matter how
say? You know
much.
what they say about your first beatboxing, Sam? The best time was years ago. The second best time is right now.
They don't say that, Matt.
I've always said it. Maybe it's just an old Lancashire saying. So fine, we won't make Sam beatbox.
Amazing.
What? Come on, someone else have a conversation or interaction beyond Krongle just in the background, like the worst, most basic beatboxing imaginable.
I have this fitted sheet, and I have a skill called evaluate, which is like estimating the worth of things. I would like to examine it and see if I can figure out what it is, if there's any like sense I can make of it, if it holds value that I might be able to use it in, you know, given how poor I am at the moment, and you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why don't you make a roll for that then?
No, that's an 8 over my
Yeah.
6.
You've got no idea. You've never seen anything like this before. It's real weird. Real weird. Come on, anything else? So let's have some character interaction here, folks. About like any conversations you're having, and all of you are like, "Yeah, I'm just doing something to myself." It's like, come on,
So,
let's get social. Let's get social.
I can't believe that I'm the one, but I think while new, I think Kakajan didn't fail to notice the fact that the fishermen were altered in turning into sort of fabric and pillows and buttons and all of this, and they had stitching. So I think Kakajan will say we should leave this place. We will become clothing and pillows.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Well, they were eating plushy fish, so maybe if we don't.
What the hell?
What did you just say, Kakajan?
Captain, did you say something?
What the hell was that?
Well, it came from inside you.
I legit thought that was like someone had like a weird alert come through on their computer or something.
Now that's an alert I want on my computer.
Oh man, that caught me off guard. Okay, I think Kakajan will glance down with one of their many transiently placed eyes and sort of extrude the tog counter.
Absolutely. It sits in your what passes for your palm for a second, and then lets out a very distinctive, like the noble Donna said, the noble call of the multigalactic semi-crested skew-billed duck. Wah.
It's the most bland duck noise.
it's very understated.
It's a very noble and refined duck who doesn't need to prove itself to you.
We have to talk about duck noise, and not the problem right now.
From a more civilized time.
Should we stop
It's not
moving
getting
forward?
faster.
Or...
Are we
moving right now?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so if something's getting worse, we should move. That way.
Something is coming.
Yeah,
I'm
pick
gonna
a
start.
direction, and whichever direction someone moves in.
I mean, continue in the compass direction.
Yeah, and the tunnel you're in, like I say, it's been one long tunnel since the Blue Blanket Lake, and the lake is like 2 hours behind you. The compass is pointing forwards. The Noble Donna said, chivvy along, sharpish.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Kakachin picks up the pace.
Well, as you stride along as fast as you can, there is an increased sense of foreboding among you. Noises and changes in the environment increase to the point where on several occasions it feels like you're moving down the same part of the quilted corridor as previously traversed. The whole place seems to vibrate almost imperceptibly, and there is a tangible taste of chamomile in the air. Can everyone make a tog roll? You need 8s and above.
Do I
Fail
still
that.
have a malice?
You have no malice, Queen Katrine. You feel like a new monarch.
That's a 9, baby. Just
That's an
scraping my
8.
way.
I failed.
Was it,
I failed.
was it an 8 or higher, Matt?
Yeah,
Or was
you
it like
needed
over
8s or
8?
high. You needed 8s or higher. Yeah. So Kakajin and Nelheim have succeeded. Katrine and Krongle have failed. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you both raise your tog rating to 2, please? You're both on 0, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. It's on 2.
Can we perceive? Does that feel like anything, or is it just
Not yet.
Okay. No, I don't like the yet. Then. Could we just have a no?
Yeah.
So Kakachin just mutters that. Why, Captain? Why?
So the environment, like you're hurrying along, the environment isn't change. Well, it is changing, but it's not changing in that you still have this sense, that odd taste in the air. Like it's really unnerving. Like not only do you feel like the air is vibrating, you now feel like yourself is vibrating, and kind of the bits that make you up are kind of shifting around a little. What are we doing to try and find our way out of this? The tunnel has like opened up a bit ahead of you, and now there are more passages off to each side. I would like each of you to tell me how you're trying to help the group escape this. It can be something as easy as like, you know, Nelheim could say, I'm moving faster, I'm rolling run. Like it can be kind of personal, or it can be something you're doing for the entire group. But I would like each of you to say how you're doing this. And I'm going to ask Captain Kakajin to tell me first what kind of role you're making.
I'm not. I feel like this is just going to be a basic skill roll. I don't.
Yeah, if you don't feel you have anything, I think second sight would be a valid thing. Like
Oh yeah,
Hog
maybe.
is definitely an arcane thing.
Okay,
So-
yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, we'll use second sight then. Actually, it's like half of my advanced skills are for like star stuff and
Yeah, and that's not much of that
Basic.
down here in the soft. Yeah,
Super not.
absolutely.
So yeah, let's do second sight. That is an 8, unfortunately, and my total would have been 6 for the skill and advanced skill. So
Sure, absolutely. So, what? How about Queen Katrine?
Could I try a tracking to try and see?
Yeah. If any, you can see if any other creatures have like made their way out here or whatever. Yeah.
Or like look for the best footing as I run or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, it's only a 6. That's a fail.
That's a fail. Okay. How about Nelheim?
Can I just try awareness? Just looking for the
Yeah,
best group?
absolutely. Anywhere that looks a bit more solid.
Yeah. So that's a 6, and I needed to. 6 is my total on the skill checks. The meter is a success, right?
So that's good. Yeah, that's a success. You feel like you may be leading the group in the right direction. Like the vibration kind of like thinks just a little bit in the passageway you've chosen. Now, at this point, it's worth saying you're not really capable of communicating with each other. Like verbally, it's too like you feel like you're being jarred sideways through reality a little bit. And it's more like you can see each other and you can follow each other around, but actually communicating in any properly serious way is out of the door, essentially. Krongle, how are you helping?
Well, I was going to use second sight, and since Captain failed, I might as well.
Yeah.
And that. Just a fail.
Just a fail. Okay. Can everyone make a tog check, please? The difficulty remains. You need, you
Eight.
need 8s or above.
8.
Although those of us who already have 2 need 6 or above.
Correct. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how it works.
In that case, I passed it.
I failed with a 5. Finally,
It
do I
was
take
7.
1 or 2 points?
You gain anyone who failed gains 2 points. So you go up to 2, I think, both of you, right? So everyone's at a 2. Okay. Let's go again. We have not gained enough successes to move ourselves out of the high tog zone. So I would ask Kakajan again what you're doing to help, and I would. You can make the same kind of roll, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's that or something involving swords, guns, or astrology, or flying
Sure.
a barge. So I think it's going to be second sight.
That seems fair enough. Why don't you give me
Okay.
another roll?
That is a 5, which is just under. So
Hey.
finally.
So with your second sight, you can determine that Nelheim has definitely chosen the right path to be going down this. So with that enthusiasm, do you think you might like encourage the others forward? You're kind of bigger and stronger than them, I would imagine. So maybe you kind of nudge them a bit forwards. Or...
Some teammate like shoving.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
It's always encouraging when the amorphous, nightmarish, eldritch creature kind of nudges you a bit forward in the direction.
Yeah, just like little sort of eldritch tentacles kind of extrude and kind of usher them and push them along.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's another success. How about Nelheim again? What are you making a roll on? Sticking with awareness?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. See if you can find another route.
Yes, that's a 5 under the 6 I needed. So that's a success.
A success. There we go. Yeah, you really feel like you're on the right path now. Like the vibration is there, the taste and smell in the air is still there, but things seem to have just simmered. Seem to be simmering down slightly in the direction you're going. How about Krongle?
Well, I don't think it's valuable to do another second sight unless it's
Sure.
So I'll probably just do a basic skill, unless I have a perception that my undo spell would be useful against this. But I don't
you can sense the arcane forces and kind of like primal mutagenic forces at work here. You don't want to mess about trying to cast a spell in opposition to
I'm just going to try and help people run away.
Yeah.
And fail at that.
That's absolutely fine. You're kind of flailing along with the rest of them. How about you, Queen Katrine?
I'll go for another tracking.
Okay.
That's a 6, which is a pass. Just.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, you're pretty confident that the footing you're following is becoming more and more solid and firm as you're going. You also think you're definitely along. You have hope in your heart that you will soon emerge from this high tog zone. But before everyone does do that, I would like everyone to make a tog check at a difficult. Basically, you need. What did you need before, John? 6s and above.
For me and Krongle, yes.
Yeah. Right. Everyone needs to roll 7s or above now.
Okay.
Yep, passed.
Passed.
Big old 11.
Okay, so just Nelheim didn't, right? Okay. Raise your tog to 4, please, Nelheim. And however, the good news is that you all emerge, and essentially the high tog zone just stops all of a sudden. It's almost off-putting and jarring. That you step forward a few paces, like maybe you leap over a slightly submerged sofa, and you kind of stumble forward, and all of a sudden, the air is clean. Everything stopped moving. It's gone. The tog counter that Kakajan is either, I don't know if you're still holding it or whether it's like it was furiously quacking all the way through that, and it just kind of lets out a quick wah, 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 wah noise that seems to signify perhaps a sudden cessation of tog, and you are all fine.
I will definitely just open up my robes a bit to check I'm not suddenly turning into soft material.
Sure.
Which presumably
Absolutely.
I'm not.
No. You seem perfectly fine. Okay, are we moving onwards?
Yeah, just keep following their line, I think.
That was unpleasant.
Yeah. I think we need to get moving. I don't want another night here if we can avoid it.
No, I don't
Absolutely.
think so. Well, the compass says this way, so...
Okay. You all move along. Your mysterious friend sort of like checking on all of you with like little pats on your side. I remembered he exists. And sort of encouraging you with little noises. You all stride off. As you do so, Nelline, you take a second look at the odd stitching that has appeared around your wrist, as if your hand is an appendage that has become sewn onto your arm. And then, I don't know, I'm imagining maybe you cover it up a bit and move on, but it's up to you.
Yeah, I've got big, long, flowy yellow and blue robes. Yeah, I think I will cover it up.
Okay, there we go. You stumble through further tunnels for probably maybe another couple of hours or so, and then without much warning, there are voices ahead of you as you emerge into a large meeting place of several tunnels with a huge mound of fresh laundry in the center, providing a vantage point over a sunken area of couch cushions ahead from which the voices are emerging. Are we, like, how are we approaching this? Carefully? Boldly?
Do the voices sound just friendly conversation?
They sound quite serious.
Cautiously, but I will approach and have a look.
Okay. Are we all doing the same?
Yes.
Okay. Like I said, there's this big kind of mound of fresh laundry, and if you want, you can kind of like clamber up it and kind of peek over the top to see what lies below. Does that sound like the kind of thing you might do?
Yeah, just I pop like an eye stalk over the top.
Yeah. So among the large open area of couch cushions below you stands the Inquisitor Scarpaz and his knife guard, and something perhaps even worse. Scarpaz stands back from what looks like a large, chaotically stacked pile of bent and rusted blades and seems to be admiring his handiwork for a second. Then he cries out in a cracked voice, "Up! Up, you wretched devil dog! Up and to your business!" The pile of blades unfolds in a matter not entirely congruent with geometry, up and up until a hunched near 7-foot figure of sharp edges and twisted metal protuberances jerks from side to side on clutching feet that slice open fabric and stuffing alike with every move it makes. It rears up more fully for a moment and then lurches off at some speed, sending fluff and material flying in the air behind it as it lopes into a nearby tunnel. The Inquisitor claps his hands together as if to clear them of some dusty residue left behind by the construction. "Well, that should do our edgework for the now, lads and lasses. Woe betide any soft beast, plushies, or patchwork our loyal friend there stumbles upon. Back to the Citadel, and the first round of tartberry liqueurs is on old Scarpaz." There is a croaking cheer, and the patrol disappears down a different tunnel than the one taken by the Keen construct.
Which way are we looking to head?
The compass actually leads down a third tunnel entirely, away from the Inquisitor and the construct.
Okay.
So it's probably nothing to worry about. I mean, why would there be anyway? If it's looking for things corrupted by the soft, you're all fine, right?
Hopefully. Well, I mean, made by the mad person who doesn't seem to have any problem with anyone else at all. It's fine. Hopefully, these tunnels don't connect up, so we won't run into that.
Why would
terrifying
they? Why
machine.
would they?
Doesn't seem likely. Yeah,
No,
I don't think that would do that.
Do we want to wait for a bit and let it dash off, or shall we get going?
Well, if they do link up, then giving it a head start will give it more of a chance to loop around. So maybe just going.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's go. There's nothing down in the hole, is there, Matt? Otherwise,
No, it's just scattered couch cushions and couch frames and stuff.
okay.
Well, then you proceed onwards, and maybe you don't kind of. It's maybe your imagination that at some point during the travels of the next hour you hear like clashing blades somewhere echoing from tunnels vaguely nearby, but nothing crosses your path. And about an hour later, he said, making his notes illegible by pressing the wrong button a second, ahead of you a tight tunnel of bundled old laundry opens up suddenly to a great arched marquee dome of reds and yellows. There are numerous other entrances to this chamber, but you focus on none of them, rather on the immediate and unnerving sensation of being lost that takes hold of you. Unnerving because you always seem to be lost in the fray, but for some reason an almost existential fear grips you here. On a cushioned pedestal ahead is a large round frame on which is set some fine needlework of the lower half of two legs. One foot is fully clad, the other is bare. An empty wicker basket lies in front of it.
I will clutch at the compass, hoping it makes me feel more reassured that I'm not lost.
Sure, absolutely. It's definitely pointing its way to one of the various sort of passageways leading away from this kind of marquee chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks like stitched, like a lower half of a body.
It's like it's taking up the full size of the frame of the stitching, right? It doesn't look unfinished, but it's like the lower part of a pair of legs, like the shins down, and it's just showing the shins and the feet, and one of them is, like I say, is bare, and the other one has is clad with a shoe and a sock on it.
I kind of want to get a bit closer and just like examine it a bit more closely, I guess.
Sure.
Which foot is
new interest
missing?
in anything that looks kind of stitched.
Which foot is bare?
Which foot
The
is
left,
there?
the left foot of the individual in the.
Didn't someone say something about left socks at some point?
Mimu
Mm-hmm.
was one of the sort of scary omen things, right? One of the sort of fearful topics.
Well, someone presumably stitched this. Are they like revering it?
Or indicating how to appease it?
I mean, how?
More socks for the sock god?
Left socks. Okay. So that's not very helpful.
I'm going to take off my left boots and remove by this point, considering how long I've been traveling, probably very threadbare and wholly fine silk stocking.
It's holy. What can you say?
Yeah.
And I'm going to
You have at least
place
one hole in it.
Yes. Well,
Don't start.
Oh, no.
Don't start this conversation of how many holes a hole is.
I'm going to place it in the basket.
Okay.
And then put my
are you
boots
just
back
gonna,
on.
Are you just gonna stand there watching and see if anything happens, or are you what are you doing after that?
For now, I'm going to stand here and watch.
Okay.
I think
it's a sock in a basket.
I think I will give in to peer pressure and do the same.
Sure. Yeah.
Kakujin not only doesn't understand the concept of ritual, but also is not tethered by such anatomical considerations. So
And doesn't own socks.
I think
doesn't have socks, so just kind of burbling there.
I'm happy for you to have various bits of fabric over you in some fashion, like whether they're just like bits you picked up from the captain's squashed body or something. I'm happy for you to have a sock analog. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like
a stand-in sock.
Yeah.
I genuinely think Nelline just has sandals. I don't think not socks and sandals. I think she does. I don't think she's got.
She's
socks.
not that bad.
Sure.
Well, in the tradition of mimicry, then Kakujin will just sort of try to do what the other two humans
Maybe
squishies are doing.
The torn fabric of one of the captain's squashed blood-soaked socks is going to go for
Yeah.
the thing. Nell, are you doing an equivalent with the sandal, or are you just leaving it?
I think I will leave it. I don't think a sandal is equivalent to a sock.
Okay, that's fair enough.
You know what? Because thinking about this is actually making me cringe, the idea of having one foot with a sock and one foot without. I'm going to remove my right sock, graciously gift it to Nalaim. With a very obvious and apparent, like, it is a gift you owe me. I am a benevolent ruler.
But it is a right sock. I don't know if it'll work.
It is a right sock, unless Nalaim puts it on her left foot.
Yes.
That's solid logic. I don't argue with that.
Socks are inherently interchangeable, fight me.
I'm requesting to do an etiquette roll on this as to whether it would be, I feel like it's a trap to be given a gift to then immediately like give it away. And I don't know which is going to be the worst thing to do for Queen Katrine in this situation.
To be fair, Queen Katrine seems to be giving it you so you can put it in the laundry basket.
I know, but is this a trap of like tricky
Oh,
royalty?
is she trying to
one
like
of those sock traps?
Well, you know what? Make your roll.
Can I oppose etiquette then?
No,
Well,
you could really mess.
I rolled a 7 against my etiquette of 5, so
Yeah, so I guess you're not. You're still worried that this might be some trick that ends up with your head on the block.
You could really mess with Queen Katrine's brain and just eat the sock.
It's more of a Captain Kakajan move.
I think I will look extremely paralyzed by this, and I think I will. I will use the sock glove-like to try and cover up my bad hand.
Sure.
Thank you for this gracious gift, Your Majesty. I wouldn't dream of losing such a. I will keep this close to me at all times. And slink away, looking a bit sheepish and confused.
Well, that wasn't my intention, but far be it from me to detect exactly what all of my underlings do with every moment of their lives, I suppose.
Okay.
I'm a gracious ruler.
Are we? Have we socked enough? Are we choosing to move on, guided by the compass from this chamber, and hope that
it depends on you solve your sock puzzle.
Made an offering in some way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you do so, you wander on out. And as you do so, Krongle, you glance back at the chamber you've passed through. Can't help but notice that laundry basket looks awfully empty. Everyone who put a sock in the laundry basket can regain 1d6 luck.
Ooh. I cannot express how much I needed that.
That was nice.
Everyone's like, yeah, and Inga's like,
No, so good. This is what happens.
You role played. That's sticking by it.
Yeah. And as we all know, role playing must always be punished.
Yes. Cool.
It's not role playing if you make choices that are beneficial to you. Everybody knows that.
Yep.
Always cave to peer pressure.
Absolutely. So moving on from this place again, you feel like you've definitely lost that sense of being lost. And now maybe you feel like you've got a bit more spring in your step, like luck is back on your side, mostly, as you move through the tunnels of the fray. About an hour later, a single grey cat emerges ahead of you in the passageway, grooms its face for a second, and then slips off in a small cleft between two squashed-up duvets. You think nothing of it until you pass round the following corner and emerge into a huge open area. The sewn-together sheets making up the roof barely even visible. It is like a dense jungle of towering trees. Only rather than trees, you are faced with a near-endless configuration of cardboard boxes, scratching posts, and cat towers. Bridges of wood and materials stretch between them as high up as you can see, and all around, sleeping, playing, meandering, gazing at nothing with intensity, cats. Cats of all shapes, sizes, and colours. Noble cats, silly cats, meowing cats, baffled cats, evil cats. The only way onwards is through, and the only way through is up and over.
I mean, we just stay here forever now, right?
I have a very important question, Matt.
Of course.
Does it smell of cat poop?
No, it does not.
Okay, good.
Well, presumably they would excrete stuffing or something. So
No, they're cats.
oh, they're cats.
They're
Okay,
cats.
they're impervious.
Yeah, well, they probably wander back into these secret passageways and do a.
Well, the soft just disposes of their poop because that would be polite.
Maybe.
Or maybe there's like really good odor cancelling cat litter all along the bottom of the chamber, like infinitely far down.
Absolutely.
Like, if I was not playing this kind of character, I'd want to conduct some kind of ridiculous, esoteric, scientific experiment to figure out the secret of their immunity and harness the power of these cats.
I'm not gonna lie, part of me does want to stay here as like in character.
Absolutely.
So we have
okay.
to climb the sort of labyrinthine construction of cat towers and walkways, and
Absolutely.
Well, the whole place is cat sized, so it's presumably quite difficult for us to move around. Like, there's no big spaces to
yes,
sit
I know.
on.
It's like there's such big structures that you can you're not moving along them the same way the cats are, but they can take your weight and you're just climbing along,
But there's no, for example, hypothetically, you couldn't like pitch a tent on one of these. It's all small.
No. It's like a very dense climbing frame.
Jungle gym type.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, folks. To navigate through the this cat city, you have to. We'll do rounds of like traversal tests, right? And like the other ones, like you have to just convince me that the skill you're rolling will help you in this traversal. And if you fail, you can either test your luck or take the consequences from my consequences of failure in traversal of the cat city table. So that's what we're going to do a round of that first. So as you start clambering up into these cat towers and scratching posts, let's go with every time I use a D6 to roll a D4, it gives me 5 or 6 the first time. I swear to God. Queen Katrine, as an ability, and therefore sharing a lot in common with cats, such as poise, grace, an overwhelming sense of entitlement. How are you going to be trying to traverse this pleasant nightmare?
Could I argue an etiquette? Because I feel like one of the challenges.
100% accept that.
I feel like one of the challenges is going to be finding a handhold that doesn't then get your finger scratched off.
I couldn't agree more. So go ahead and make an etiquette roll for me.
Okay. That is a pass. That is a definite pass. 5 under 9.
You know what? You go up what looks like a kind of like an easily clamberable scratching post, and you have the good sense and grace to pause while a number of cats kind of walk over the little platform above you before you kind of like heave yourself on. One of the cats kind of glances back over their shoulder and kind of like almost like seemingly kind of like appreciates what the space you've given them before moving on. So you have succeeded.
Blink slowly in a non-threatening manner.
Sure.
Of equal.
Krongle, how about yourself?
I have no relevant skills whatsoever, but I'm sort of considering casting Diminish on myself, because my logic being it would be much easier to move through a cat tower space if I was smaller. However, it only lasts 3 minutes, which isn't very helpful because I feel like
that would definitely not be enough time.
So I think it's just a roll.
Also, you'd be at risk of being eaten by cats.
Yes,
not that small. I'm only
like,
halved in size.
I feel like half a Krongle is still quite big for a cat.
Yeah,
maybe.
Okay, I will just have to roll my
fair point. You'd be kind of dog-sized.
And fail.
Okay, do you want to test your luck or take the consequences from the table?
I will test my luck.
Okay.
Since it is at 12. Ooh. And pass.
Did it start at 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Don't forget to reduce by 1. And next we have Captain Kakajan.
I too have no relevant skill in this department. However, I may attempt to get creative again. You're welcome to shoot this down.
Let's give it a go.
What I want to do is try to communicate with the cats using the languages spell.
Okay, yeah.
And I had this notion that they might help me.
Sure, yeah.
If I can win them over.
Yeah, give it a go. Spend the stamina and make your spell roll.
Okay.
It's so funny to imagine this giant, like, hulking, monstrous blob form, like, meowing at the cat.
Yeah, apart from anything, I liked the image. That is one off. It's a 6. I needed 5.
Never mind. Do you want to test your luck, or do you want to just suffer the effects of the table?
I think I'll test my luck on this one. I don't see me having a good time in any other attempt. So
go for it.
So I need, is it equal or below? That's a 7, and I've got 10. Yeah. So we'll go down to 9.
Yeah, absolutely. You try to meow and make other similar cat noises towards them, but they're basically having none of it and just wander off. But nevertheless, you managed to do so without incurring any of their wraths. So that's probably a fairly successful attempt. Nellime, let's have something from you, shall we?
I think awareness. Just try and find the right spot, the right path through.
A good standard roll. I approve.
That's a fail. I got a 7 against my 6.
Okay, so your awareness avails you not. Do you want to take the consequence of the tables or test your luck?
I will roll against the luck. That's a 6. Oh no, wait. I'm under the luck still.
You need equal to or under luck.
Yeah, that's a success. That's a 4.
Okay, so your luck succeeds. Don't forget to knock your luck down by 1. Okay, you've all of you have traversed maybe about halfway through the cat city rather successfully, like clambering over things, like standing on slightly wobbling cat towers for a little bit before making a jump to another platform, that kind of thing. But all of you have come across a little bit of an obstacle here. There is a very large clouder blocking your way, jumping around playfully with only occasional viciousness. They are balancing expertly on a particularly intimidating conglomeration of gnawed cardboard boxes perched atop a wide cat tower platform. This may require some negotiation. So you have to make your way through the clouder. They're not going to move. You have to make sure, given they're pretty playful, that they're not going to attack you. There are various tactics one might make, various offerings one might make, but I'm going to need something or some notion from each of you, or you're going to risk a bit of a scratching. And first, we will go with Krongle.
Oh no, mine is the worst. I have an awful option. I was going to try and scare the cat away.
There's far too many cats here. Like, this is going to have to be a, this is a you're going to have to make friends with these cats.
Yeah.
Or unless you've got something really dramatic to make.
I mean, I have Thunder, which is or within 24 meters test luck, or be
they're pretty aggravated and hyper. That might just make them mad.
Make it worse.
You don't know.
Well, maybe I make it worse. I don't know.
You could try.
Yeah.
I think it's understandable.
I love, though, that I've said this requires negotiation and befriending the cats, and Sam's immediately gone, well, there's thunder or fear, or maybe I just shoot the fuck out of them.
Well, Krongle has no friendly skills. Oh, I've just thought of one, though. I have illusion, which can potentially... I could just make myself invisible, right? And try and sneak past the cat.
Yeah, sure, that might work.
If I succeed. But the question
is... You can try the thunder and fear. I'm just not guaranteeing their success.
I'm only trying to hide from this one cat. Because this is the one cat that's a problem. So
but there's loads of cats.
There's loads of cats.
Oh, I can't use that either then.
Matt used a singular noun to describe a big pack.
I think I'm just going to have to roll a skill and try and politely walk through.
Just going to try and kind of politely negotiate your way through?
I think that's my best. None of my spells are going to help, so...
Don't you have some kind of magic pocket pockets.
Oh yeah, I do actually. Yeah, you're right. Of course, I always forget.
That
about
give
that one.
mystical items.
It's mystical. It's not really relevant to cats, though. I mean,
I
cats
have mystical cat toys.
kind of.
And you'd
mystical.
certainly have nothing else in your pockets that cats might enjoy.
Not really. Provisions, but I don't really care that much about that. Oh wait, my bells, charms and bells.
Cats famously don't like food.
They're
I'm
never-
gonna-
never
I'm
food.
gonna
You,
try
you
and-
do have your little bells, yeah.
I was going to say I'm going to try and use my staff, yeah, with all the bells and other things, and just
Do a little
kind
bit of a jingling.
entertain the cats as I jingle
Entertain
through.
the cats as you pass
Mhm.
by.
There is no skill
You-
bonus for this, but it's my attempt.
No, you're just jingling your bells, and you know what? Several of the cats kind of leap up, and by the time you get across the platform, you have one cat kind of like
Mhm.
dangling from your staff as you're trying to balance. Worked perfectly well. The
Amazing.
cat drops off and goes back to the clouder with a grumpy expression on its face.
Perfect.
Next, we have Captain Kakajan.
So had my original attempt at speaking to them succeeded, the gambit was going to be I was going to offer them food to. So whether to go straight to the just in this context, I don't need their help. I just need them to leave me alone. So I could offer a provision because it's either that or something weird and or drastic. So I think I will just sort of. Is it like there's a walkway and a bit of space off to the side, and I kind of yeet the ration off to the side?
Yeah,
and
you can like chuck it to one side of the platform and see if they scramble over to.
Yeah. Okay. I'll pick out the meatiest looking provision, as opposed to they won't go for anything vegetarian. So I'll do that, and I'll chuck one to the side. Do I need to make some kind of roll? Or okay.
The moment that meaty treat leaves your hand, the majority of the clouder scrambles over and like tussles with each other to gnaw down the piece of fresh meat that you've chucked onto the ground, and you manage to kind of like wobble and splat your way through the rest of them that are sort of like looking around in confusion with no trouble whatsoever. Okay, Nellime.
I think that on my like pop-up like fortune-telling tent, there'll be like bits of tassels and things like that as part of the decorative elements. So I like to just maybe cut off a bit of tassel to try and entice the cats with that, to sort of chasing a bit of string kind of thing, which is a bit risky because it might gear them up a little bit more. If they're anything like my cats, might get them quite excitable, but will hopefully at least be directionally like intentional. Like I could.
Yeah. Absolutely, and just like with Krongle, it works just fine. I'm going to say, do you want like yours is a little less safe than like a big staff with like little bells to jingle on the end of it. So do you want to test luck or take a small consequence?
I will test luck.
Okay.
Oh, that's a definite fail.
Okay.
That's 11.
Then obviously remove your luck by 1 and also take 1 stamina of damage as a particularly playful swipe takes you in the hand.
Yep.
Queen Katrine, how about yourself?
So my original bargain for my stay at the Temple of Rest was a leafleting campaign. Was I ever given those leaflets?
No, because you left without warning, right? When the Inquisitor arrived.
That's a shame.
We don't need different solutions. By the way, if you're like, you could just throw a ration down; it will work.
I think I'm just going to do that.
Yeah, do you just throw it to the same area or?
Yes.
This is like a trap that Matt's setting for you. Oh, you threw it to the wrong place.
Well, no, there's still like sort of like there's one particularly big cat that's kind of looking very satisfied with itself and eating, and as you throw it to the same area, the other cats like swim around, and the one that got the original bit is kind of buffeted to either side but chewing happily while the others fight over it, and you make your way over to the other side. And now, folks, you only have to negotiate the rest of your way through the cat city, and it's going to be the same as that first round, right? It's going to be the checks, and if you make the check, you could if you make the check, it's all good. If you don't make it, you either test your luck or you just go for the consequence table. So we'll start again. Sorry, Alex.
I was just going to say as an aside, if you take like one whole health damage for a playful cat swipe in the hand, I would be dead IRL. Like so many times.
It's true. Queen Katrine, you're first to negotiate the rest of the cat city. So what are you going to
Okay.
do?
Gonna go for etiquette again.
Yeah.
I
no
politely make my way. I'm gonna roll level to it, so that's a pass. Yes.
You're rolling level to it.
A 9
roll
for
level
9.
to it. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You make your way across and you find yourself at the end of this sort of towering forest of cat play area. And ahead of you is like a tunnel opening up in the sheets to another part of the soft. How about Captain Kakajan? I did finger guns there.
I think probably. Can I might try a different solution this time because I don't want to lose too many provisions. Can I try to use Helping Hand to try to sort of, like they could bear me across the...
Like you wouldn't really be able to use provisions in this particular circumstance anyway, because it's more like traversing the general environment than distracting.
Oh, sorry, I thought there was also a cat in the way. Okay,
no. It's the same, just kind of traversing things. But Helping Hands is absolutely a thing that would work.
Yeah, sort of give me more handholds. And
you got to spend the stamina, obviously, and roll, but
Right,
go for it. It's just a 1 again, yeah, right? A 1 stamina.
It's Helping Hands are 1 stam. Yeah. I'm much
so
better
spend the
with
stamina,
this,
make the roll, and we'll see what's going on.
Let's roll them dice. That is a bad roll. That's an 11. So,
do you want to test your luck, or do you want to just take the consequences?
I mean, it kind of sounds like I might fall, which would be quite bad.
It's a table, I'll tell you that. So it's varying results.
All right, I'm not over a sort of chasm or
no
big drop. Okay, I'll take the consequences because I'm trying to save my luck when it's more desperate.
Do you want to roll a d6 for me?
Oh boy, that could be bad. Yeah, that is a 3. Could have been worse.
Okay.
But how much?
Along your traversal, you slip and crash unexpectedly into a grove of scratching posts. Do you have any armor?
No.
Okay. Take 2 stamina damage from being lightly skinned by crashing through these scratching posts. But after you crash down to them, you still manage to kind of like flop and crawl your way to the end with Queen Katrine.
Great. Cool.
So we have Krungle.
I think I'm just going to do a normal skill roll. Since nothing's apparent, just trying to make my way.
Sure.
And that's a fail. So
test your luck or roll. Test your luck.
And that's a pass.
Okay. Reduce your luck by 1. And you have a couple of little slippy moments, but you managed to make it to the end. Nelime.
Awareness again, just gonna try and find a good good path.
Sure.
That's a fail.
That's a fail. Test
I
your
will
luck.
take the consequences.
You'll take the consequences. Why don't you roll a d6 then, please?
That's a 1.
That's the 1. You tumble a short distance, safe and sound in a stack of cardboard boxes, but delaying your traversal. You have to go again.
Should I roll again just now?
Yeah, so you roll your awareness again if you want.
That's another fail.
That's
like
the consequences.
Like Inga and I, just with our 4 skill, it's just so painful.
Yeah, I'll take the consequences again. That's a 6 this time on the.
I'm terribly sorry, but I have to. I just have to point out that I really thought that Alex just said, "Me and Inga, our foreskins are so painful."
Wow, Matt,
and it took me about 5 seconds to realize that's not what you said.
Massive overshare.
It just really threw me. It just really threw me. It's broken, John. Inga. Oh no, it wasn't. John wasn't broken. He was just cringing terribly.
No,
Inga,
broken in not the way you expected.
Inga, you're gonna have to repeat what you said there because
6.
Understandably, I wasn't listening.
So I said I won't go for the luck. I'll take the consequences, and I rolled a 6 on the d6 this time.
Okay. Well, then, this is what happens in your second attempt at the traversal. You almost plummet off one of the tallest towers, but manage to catch yourself with unexpected grace, landing on all fours on a platform only a few feet down. A nearby sphinx-like regal cat blinks at you. Was that approval? Regain 1d6 of luck.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of needing the luck at this point. I'm really bummed through it. 4. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Oh, that was all the luck I'd had. Yes, so I'm back up to full.
There we go. You all find yourself at the end of Cat City, and there is a single tunnel opening up ahead of you. The compass is really kind of like wobbling in very steady place now. You feel like you must be pretty close to Spillerville.
Can we all just have a collective, slightly sad sigh that we're leaving Cat City, and then go?
Absolutely. So you emerge into like a wide sort of arched tunnel, which is held up overhead by several kind of like long couches, which are kind of on their ends, holding up this sort of tented sheet top. And you make your way forwards for maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so. And then I would like you all to please give me whatever you think your equivalent of like an awareness type roll is. Obviously for Inga, it's awareness. But for others of you, do you have anything you think might be like, you know, something that would keep you reactive or wits type stuff?
Only if it's a bit mystical for second sight. Otherwise, no.
I'm going to allow second sight.
Yay.
What about Queen Katrina? Anything?
I have awareness, but I failed it.
Okay.
Passed second sight.
How about Captain Kakajan?
Yes, I'm going to use second sight as well if that's permitted, because that's one of my less shit.
Sure.
And that's 2 6s.
That's not a success.
Don't do that
Okay.
on that.
In that case, 3 of you are left standing shocked and awed somewhat when the cacophonous riot of clashing blades emerges from a nearby tunnel, rears up in front of you, lets out a screech that's like the scraping of 2 rusted knives running along each other, and flails in coordinated chaos towards you, clearly with murderous intent. John, can we set up an initiative stack, please? And can everyone but Krongle in the... You might... I know this is awkward and it might lead you to... Will we? No, you know what we'll do? What we'll do is, in the first round, the first time anyone but Krongle is drawn, they're not acting. Right? Does that make sense? That might lead to nothing if we draw an early end of round or something like that. I should also say the Keen Construct has an initiative of 3. So it gets 3 actions in the thing. Lovely stuff. I've seen the chat, and I think people are overreacting to my reaction to randomly hearing foreskins. That's all I'm saying.
The hearing was fine.
Don't say it, Matt. Okay. Again, we have the henchman stand codes. It sounds like our mysterious little friend fears not and leaps to the front to try and protect the group, thrusting into those jangling blades with his lance. John, why don't you roll for the henchman, and I will roll for the Keen Construct.
That is a 20.
Ooh. Well, that is only 1 more than the King Construct gets, but it's still more. Why don't you make me... It's as a spear, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rolled a 3.
Rolled a 3. Unfortunately for you, it has 2 armor against sharp things. So that is going to reduce it to... it takes 4 stamina, but he kind of like stabs into the center of it, and a bit of like what looks like an old scythe goes like flying off and skitters and embeds itself into the wall. But still, not bad as a start. Let's have the next thing, please.
Next is
Krongle, and
Krongle
Krongle does get his first action. So
Well, I was complaining earlier about how irrelevant the spell Brittle Twigs is, but it seems very relevant in this
it'll
situation.
absolutely work on.
So I grab a small twig from my pocket and glare menacingly at the monstrosity in front of me and break the twig. And fail by 1.
Don't forget the stamina cost.
Yeah, it's only a 1 cost, thankfully.
Okay. Yeah, the twig breaks and resolutely nothing happens.
Yeah, I've got more twigs.
Sure. Other than a general clashing of blades that is happening is the
that was
thing.
That was in character. Krongle actually said that in character. With breaking the twig, nothing happened. Went, I've got more twigs in a threatening manner.
Nice. Next turn. Kakajin, but we're going to skip it because Kakajin was surprised. So next.
It's the enemy.
Any enemy. So this enemy has an attack table. So I am going to roll and see what happens. So that is a 5. 2 long spikes of keen metal punch through the air, finding all 2 soft targets. The 2 players with the highest TOG rating are struck as if struck by a polearm. So
we're all on 2, aren't we?
Apart from Nelheim. So Nelheim and just a random roll. Nelheim and Krongle are going to take an attack off this thing, and if it hits, they'll be hit as per a polearm. Obviously, it's like a melee attack, so you'll hit it back if you win, right? So let's go with Nelheim first, and I will. It's a combat roll, so it's 2d6 plus whatever you're fighting with, the total skill of whatever you're fighting with. And I'm going to roll for it, and good luck. That's what I'm going to say.
Uh, 12 total for me.
Oh, it definitely hits you. You have armor though, right? You have level 2 armor, is that right?
Yeah, 2.
Not bad. Okay, yeah. The spiky metal bar pokes into you really quite unpleasantly for 4 stamina. Could be worse. Krongle, you don't really have any melee skills, but it's entirely possible that, mathematically you can't succeed here. But let's find out.
I have quite good skills. My skill's 6,
Okay.
so I probably have a
You didn't
chance.
roll hugely, so let's see. Oh, your skill's 6. Yeah, you could potentially win it.
13.
No, you do not win it. Do you have any armor?
Nope. Unarmored.
Okay. Then the kind of polearm equivalent thing slams into you for 4 stamina.
Ouchie, ouch.
Okay, next turn.
Okay.
Krongle, your second go.
It's time for another stick.
Time for a little stick.
I'm gonna get the drink. I'm staring.
That's a sticking.
No.
Good stuff.
I have a pretty good chance of this. I'm just rolling 10s and then 11s.
You're gonna run out of sticks sooner or later, friend.
I've got a little collection. It's fine.
Sure. Let's have the next turn. Nelheim, but you lose your first turn because you were startled. Next turn, please. End of round, which is probably good news.
Yes. I mean,
I guess Queen Katrine would have skipped again. So
yeah.
Okay, and this time you are well aware what's happening, so everyone will get their actions, obviously. Let's see what happens next. Okay, it goes first. I will roll on its attack table again, and this time it is a 1. What the 1 means is distracted by nearby soft stuff, the construct goes into a violent fervor of slashing that leaves the characters alone, but the Berserk Fury causes it to increase its initiative by 1 in the next round. So next round, its initiative is going to go up to 4. But nothing else happens for this. Let's go next turn. Captain Kakajan.
Right. Now, I want to do something unconventional.
Mm-hmm.
So, your discretion. But what I would like to try is, while its back's turned, while it's in this frenzied state,
Mm-hmm.
to jam a plasmic core into a nook in its chassis somewhere.
Yeah.
For a later. So it's just a setup.
Right. Yeah, you're going to jam the plasmic core in, which is kind of like a grenade, and then shoot the grenade, right? I mean, that's what you're going to do.
Exactly, yeah.
Let me...
or someone else might be able to before me,
Yeah. Let's just see. So how do plasmic cores work? It can be cracked open and huffed in by a wizard in place of spending stamina on a spell. See, I thought they were grenade-like things as well, but they're not. They're just
I was entirely an assumption on my part that as an energy storing device, it would have some kind of destructive...
Yeah, okay. I am happy. Yeah, all right. Why not? We can give it a go. We can see what happens. I'll make up rules for it on the fly, and we'll see what the fuck happens.
There's something quite cute about Captain Kakajan having no idea if this will work or not, having probably never actually used one of these items before.
Well, I think it does have some familiarity at a basic level, because it's what it starts with in its equipment, and it's used to power a device that Kakajan has that I haven't made use of yet.
Sure. Well, let's just have a standard skill roll then, unless you have a relevant thing for planting a plasmic core in it. But otherwise,
I mean, my standard skill roll is atrocious, so I kind of want to try to find a way to use a skill for this. I don't know if I could maybe make a case for using second sight to...
I think that's stretching it.
To divine the correct place that would damage the construct.
All right, I'll be generous. Go on.
It's really hard when I've got 4.
Let me
phrase this very carefully. 4 in my skill rating.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's rough. Yeah.
Okay.
Go on. Use second sight.
Okay. It's probably still going to fail. We'll see. Oh, barely. It's a 5 under 6. So
yeah, your plasmic core lobs kind of nearby the constructs, but then lands into a pile of cushions, and I'm going to say disappears down a crack between them.
What? That was a success, though.
Oh, sorry.
So so it's 5, and my total is 6 for the skill.
Of course, I was thinking your skill 4, but second. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I would have failed.
You lob it into the keen construct, and it lodges a little bit between 2 of the whirring blades. How that might help you in the future, who knows? But you've done it.
We'll find out when Matt has to improvise.
We'll find out. Let's go next. Krongle. Get to twigging.
Okay, this one. I'm feeling something about
Definitely this time.
This twig. It's gonna happen. Yes.
Okay. Don't forget to spend the stamina for it. So can you read out what brittle twigs does?
Absolutely, I can. Now, wouldn't it have been sensible if I'm actually right on top of the spell section. That's fine. Brittle twigs. Brittle twigs. You snap a twig or other brittle object to cause an injury in another. They must test their luck or skill or suffer a broken bone. So I think it's up to you how to interpret a broken bone.
Okay. Test the... This is the thing. Do enemies typically have luck?
It's all skill for enemies.
All
so
skill.
Yeah.
Okay. It just made it. It's you hear the sound of something starting to click apart or crack in it, and then you observe one blade whipping round and attaching onto another and then attaching onto another to brace it. This thing is not it is capable of self-repair and moving parts of itself to other parts of itself. You're not sure. It might work at some point in future, but it's pretty capable of repairing its most vulnerable parts by the look of it. Next.
It's
Queen
me.
Katrine.
I think
You're gonna
I'm just
thwack
gonna...
it with a big fucking sword?
Yep.
Yep. That's what I like to hear. Okay, it's definitely a doable roll. I'll say that.
Fighting
That
blades with
is
blades.
15.
15? Oh, it just won.
This goddamn robot.
So, what it happens when it's not its own turn is it has several sizes of blades that it could apply to you. And I'm going to roll a d4 and see which size hit you. And it's not a huge one. It's not
That's
the
good.
biggest one. So that is good. Let me just verify which one is bigger.
Don't
Or
worry,
smaller?
the scythe monster is hit you with one of its smaller blades.
I love the judicious use of the word apply, like it's a point and click adventure. Like use blade on Katrine.
Do you have armor?
No.
Okay, then it strikes you. Oh God, that's really bad. Is that really the second? No, that's not the second one. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. It strikes you with a kind of medium-sized arm blade for 6 stamina.
Ouch.
You're just lucky it wasn't the worst one that I saw and thought it was. Let's go with next. Nellime.
Can I try? I don't know if this is going to do anything or be any good at all, but can I whip out the 7-dimensional fitted sheet and
Absolutely you
try
can.
to tangle this thing in as much fitted sheet madness as possible?
You absolutely can, and you absolutely do. Let me just take a quick check of this item from our draft working. Yes. So you throw the 7-dimensional fitted sheet, cast it over the keen construct, and as you do so, it almost seems to fold around it in odd ways. And again, because of the difficulty of looking at the fitted sheet, this means this entire flashing, blurring construct is now even more difficult geometrically to look at than it was. But tell you this, it does not seem to be having a good time getting out of that. And we'll talk about that when it hits its next turn. John.
I thought you were going to say we made it both more horrifying to look at and angrier and more effective.
Oh no. Captain Kakajan.
Well, we know what it's time for me to try. I'm gonna try taking out my fusil and shooting that plasmic core.
Well, I'm gonna say because it's covered by the fitted sheet.
Harder now.
It's a really hard shot. Just roll a normal fusil attack, and if you hit, you hit, and you'll hit the thing and damage it.
Right,
but I'm gonna need a double 1 to hit the core.
Oh my word!
Snake eyes.
Let's see what we get here. So that is a 7, which matches my skill total.
Nice. So what is the make a damage roll? And I'm trying to decide whether a fusil will deal. I don't see some sharp things and blunt things. I think it'll count as blunt things because I think it's still getting impacted. So you know what? Let's say that.
Is it? I'm trying to find fusil in the core thing. I don't really understand the table. Is it 2d6 or what?
No, it's just a damage roll of 1d6.
1d6. Okay, fine. That is only a 2, sadly.
That is only a 2. Okay, so you shoot it with your fusil, and you see a little bit of sharp, a little bit of a sharp saw blade kind of crumple and fall off outside the fitted sheet. You've definitely done a little bit of a damage to it, but you're not really sure how much. You think a good solid shot would definitely be decent, though. Let's go to the next person, please, John. Nellime.
I will try giving it a smack with my staff.
Thwack. Sure. So is that just a regular skill roll?
It is just a regular
Yeah.
skill roll for me.
I'm going to
Yeah.
say that while it's covered by the fitted sheet, it can't hit you back, right?
Okay,
So,
that's cool.
you just roll yours, but it's not opposed to it.
Okay.
So you just try and succeed on a skill roll.
That is a success. That's a 3 against my skill of 4.
There we go.
Incredible.
And it's a blunt thing, which it has less armor against. So why don't you roll a d6 for your staff damage, please?
That's a 5, which equates to 4 damage.
4. And it does have 1 armor, which knocks it back, but it knocks it back. It's also a 4. So yeah, you give it a great big thwack with your staff, and you hear something crumple and crack. So something is definitely happening under that sheet. Yeah, good job. Next turn,
Is
Queen
me.
Katrine. Yeah.
And you say it's currently a roll versus to hit if it's under the sheet, not a roll
No,
under.
it's not a roll versus. It's a roll under to hit it. Yeah,
It can't
Okay.
retaliate.
This is a good chance.
because it's like thrashing around, and it's quite difficult to hit, but it can't hit you back. You know.
I fail. I miss.
Yeah, you swing wide. Too much swinging at white linens has put you off your game, clearly. Next turn. This round is taking a while to finish up.
Yes.
We're definitely due
Henchman.
the end of round. Henchman. Okay. Make a skill roll, Queen Katrine, for our henchman to poke into the thing through the blanket with the
Oh, pass.
pass. Right, his thing is sharp, so it does have armor 2 against it. But give me a roll for spear, please.
3.
3, so that knocks it down to a 1. It's still not bad though. He like jams into it with its lance, and you hear like a sort of like clashing of metal together that almost sounds like a little cry of pain. The thing seems to be thrashing around quite desperately now, as if like bits of it are coming off. It doesn't mean to. There's little like noises of like maybe springs and tensile wire like snapping out a bit. So it seems to be maybe a little bit on its last legs. Let's go with the next turn.
Is the enemy.
There we go. Any enemy. It uses up this turn to escape the confines of the fitted sheet, which, you know what I'm going to say, unfortunately, given the nature of what you've thrown it on, is torn to absolute shreds as it kind of rears up and unwinds the full length of its body, and the fabric like twists and tears off it in strips, and all of them kind of like weirdly fold in on themselves until they pop with an audible noise. Next, we must be near the end of the round here now. There we go. Start a new round, please, John. And it feels like we're on the verge here.
The enemy initiative goes up by 1.
It does go up by 1.
It was a good use of the sheet, though, I think, still.
I think
Yes.
so.
Enemy.
Any enemies, and here's where it gets its revenge for this humiliating tangledom that you've done. Let me roll on the thing. It is a 1 again. It is going to go berserk, enraged by your tangling of it. Next round, if we hit it, its initiative will be 5. Next turn. As my cat meows in the background. Krungle Pludge Funkler. Are we going with the Twiggy Medusa?
Well,
or
I was going to go hit it when it had the sheet on it, but now I don't fancy going close anymore. So I'm going to try the twigs some more. That's
going to try the
work.
twigs some more.
Sure.
Yeah.
The definition of
would
that.
you like? I will give you for free that its skill is pretty high.
But that makes it even
But
worse.
then
if I
hitting
hit
it as well. Yeah. Sure, yeah.
I've still got stamina. I'll keep trying a few more times.
Sure.
I'm on the last 2 sticks, I'm going to say.
Hey, it could roll wrong, and you could,
Yeah.
well.
So this is even more menacing glaring as it faces away, not even looking at me. Oh, that's a double 1. I don't know if that helps me.
It doesn't help you, but you do
it's
succeed.
good.
Spend the stamina, and I will roll to resist with its skill.
Come on.
No, I'm afraid not. I rolled a 7, which is definitely below its skill.
Oh, I've got 1 more stick.
Next turn, 1 more stick. Do you actually have the number of sticks you have?
No, but I'm playing it out, but I can't have infinite. So
Yeah. Next turn, please, John. It's henchman time. It's our mysterious friend, and he's going to attack. He's going to attack it. It's going to roll in opposition again. Sorry, you're on mute there, John.
That is 20.
He hits it. Mysterious friend.
Carrying.
We don't appreciate you enough.
Roll
good.
6.
He rolls a 6. That reduces by 2 to a 4 on the table. Okay. The thing kind of like rears up, and like part of its like middle section now starts kind of like spinning round and round in a frantic whirring of blades and sharp edges, and it kind of jerkily strides forward towards you, and all you kind of like back off away from it. The mysterious friend doesn't need to. He's not tall enough. And he just steps forward underneath it. It slices just a little bit of like the big multicolored plumage he's got off the top of his sort of big knight's helm, and jams the spear up into the middle of the mechanism, and just sort of like waggles it around from side to side, and the whole construct explodes in a flailing mass of flying blades, springs, and wire. And I'm going to need you all to test your luck. Or take the consequences, clearly. Yeah, Krongle succeeds. Looks like Inga succeeds. Queen Katrine succeeds.
Double ones.
Yeah, you all managed to duck away from the flying, sharpened blades that ricochet around and embed themselves in the walls. The mysterious friend puts one foot on top of a little mound of what look like old knives and goes, hefts his lance up in the air.
I will applaud the friend politely.
Yeah, I will join in the applauding. That seems to be well deserved.
Kakajin will deferentially slurp, I think.
Nice.
If I try to applaud, do I not make a proper clapping sound now with my one duff hand?
No, you do. Your hand still works just fine. There's just odd stitching around like the wrist.
I'm not quite
doesn't-
soft yet. I'm just
No,
stitched.
your hand doesn't look
Okay.
like fabric or anything. There's just you have embroidered stitching like around. Well, not embroidered. I'm sure
Okay.
someone will say embroidery isn't stitching, but like you know what I mean. It just looks like your hand is stitched on, but otherwise that it's almost like Frankenstein's monster style.
Can I retrieve my plasmid core, or would that have
No,
been
it
totaled?
vanished. It vanished off. Oh no,
Yeah.
you did. Stop thinking you missed. Yes,
No,
you
yeah.
can. Yes,
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if it would be messed up by that.
No,
Cool.
no, you can. Let's say you can. That's fine. Okay. Are we gathering ourselves up and heading onwards?
I think so. I might have a quick poke at the wreckage, but nothing interesting, presumably.
You can't. It
Charm.
literally now just looks like a mass of broken metal.
Yeah, head on.
Want to get moving ASAP.
Follow the compass.
Absolutely.
We don't know
Well-
that's the only one either.
Mm-hmm.
The compass now is almost quivering in your hand. And it isn't long after leaving the wrecked remains of the king construct behind you that you start to see signs of actual human habitation. Graffiti stitched onto blankets, discarded food wrappings, the sound of someone playing an accordion poorly. Suddenly, a woman dressed in a leather smock and goggles ventures out of a nearby opening, bows perfunctorily, and walks onwards. Moments later, you find yourself in another vast chamber, this one in the shape of the interior of a globe, woven from extraordinarily thick cables of multicolored wool. In the center of it, downslope from you, what looks like a relatively normal and bustling town, built of more solid materials, wood, brick, even what look like bunkers crafted of concrete. The wool sags near the heavier buildings, leaving the ground highly uneven, but nevertheless, the smells and sights leave you with an overwhelming sense of relief. Spillowville. On the edge of the town sits a few particularly impressive estates, and you can see the unmistakable heraldry of a multi-galactic semi-crested skew-bill duck, even from this distance. Time to get paid, and hopefully get as far from the soft as possible. And that's the end of our one-shot, folks. That's the end of our first playthrough of the soft. How delightful. Let me do the promo stuff, and then we will hop onto questions and comments. Leave them in chat if you have them. First of all, this has been a one-shot where the players have explored the soft. The soft is a TROIKA setting zine that we are designing and creating ourselves. It is currently just still available as a Kickstarter campaign. If you hop over there and if someone could put the link in chat, that would be great. I know it's already pinned. It only has 20 hours left to go. So if you do want to back it and get your digital copy of it, please do so. There's either a £5 option, which is just the digital zine, and then there's a £10 option where you can get other things, high-res art, a collection of short stories, and microfiction kind of inspired by, I should say microfiction rather than short stories. They are smaller pieces, inspired by our work on the soft. And you'll also get a complete write-up, playable version of this that I've done, like a kind of one-shot length thing showing off the soft. So you'll be able to run this scenario yourselves without just watching this for like on repeat and noting everything down. You know what I mean? So there we go. We'd love to be backed. We are first-time TTRPG creators. But, you know, we're appreciative of everything you do, even if you're just watching. Okay, let's do the quick promotion. If you check below this video, you'll find a bunch of links. There's links to YouTube and to Twitch. We're available on both places in the configuration you might expect. We stream here, and then the videos go to YouTube. Although we are strongly thinking about starting to multi-stream to YouTube as well, because there's no reason not to nowadays. So that will be coming at some point in the future. There's also links to our social media, to our Discord, our Patreon, our merch store, all the things you might expect. We run weekly games here on Twitch. Mondays is alternating between Warhammer and We Deal in Lead. We Deal in Lead is starting next week. It'll be a brand new series. Wednesdays is currently Blade Runner, although that will probably wrap up this week. And then we'll start running Simbroom again in a couple of weeks after that. Thursdays is currently alternating between Wicked Ones and Nothing. And pretty soon that will change between Yellow King and Nothing. So it's like a fortnightly, weekly thing. We also do monthly one-shots. This has been one of them. I'm sure there may be one in April. Yeah. And again, Kickstarter campaign. Go check it out. That'd be lovely. Thanks. Okay. Comments and questions, please, John. Steve, if you don't give me some money, I see myself continuing to be in your future. Inga's character's primary.
If Nelline was actually slightly smarter and more entrepreneurial, she'd be using that rather than like something that's actually a bit more. Well, I suppose it's kind of truthful as well. But
yeah, pay me to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. It's apparently what my cat is doing right now. Inga, I feel like not explaining what happened to the first character is making it sound worse.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm
Alex's first character. Yeah,
imagining horrific things.
Oh, I mean, it was quite horrific.
Yeah, it was quite graphic, actually. Yeah, it wasn't great.
No, basically got splattered. 42, would the beauty standards in the soft be based on softness, i.e. the softer / fatter the character is, the more attractive it is? Probably not. They're probably at least partly based on how much you're comprised of fabric and materials, with various people thinking the more the better, and other people thinking the less the better, and also the more we're going to slice you up with knives. So not so much, but... I
mean, this is less beauty standards and more, will we kill you standards.
Yes, are you, purge the foul plushy Xenos. Yeah. Next, please. Steve, I think Diminish was the first spell ever cast by Krongle in the first one-shot on Queen Katrine. Yeah.
It was indeed, yeah. It was for a very important... Go check it out. It was hilarious. But the very important purpose of grabbing the keys first, which I remember I still failed. You just had some epic jump roll to get them.
Yeah, no, I think you got them.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. I do like. I think the first TROIKA one shot we ran, which is the Blancmange and Thistle story from the core book, is definitely one of the early standouts of the things we did on the channel. It's well worth a watch. And Fronds of Benevolence, which was the one between that first one and this, we actually did only just in January, but that's a really fun one as well, and worth watching. Yeah, and if you want to hear more of my thoughts about the different games I've run and how I rank them with each other, then hey, go sign up to the £5 tier on our Patreon. What a lead in there. Because the latest patron vlog I released just yesterday, I do a tier list of everything I've run on the channel. So if you want to hear my controversial opinions on the things I did, then you can find out exactly where I'd rate TROIKA. Go do that.
I am actually really curious now. I've got to go.
Well, go fucking sponsor us, Sam, because
exactly.
Sending it to random members of the crew, I might say. Next.
The true reveal that we don't get paid for this.
I barely get paid for this.
I would like you to guess at what point in the story these next two comments arose.
I don't know. Are they mentioning foreskins?
That's going to be easy. Yep.
I don't think it was wrong. Okay.
The thing is, the thing you said was so overwhelming that I didn't have any idea what Inga had said. So you just threw foreskin in the middle of nowhere.
Inga, it was Alex said it. Alex said something like,
no, I think quite explicitly, Alex did not say it. Alex did not say it.
Look, right. I'm going to defend myself here. Alex said, our foreskill is painful.
Said my and Inga's foreign skill.
Foreign skill is painful. I think it's a perfectly reasonable mishearing. I will say it's that the choice to actually then say that out loud
that was a choice. That was one of the choices of 2024.
I think it's a debatable choice, but it's still one I stand by.
I think for me it was the shock factor of the delay between.
But the delay was because I was shocked. It took me a moment to go, oh, Alex didn't just say foreskin.
I love the fact
this isn't a children's channel. I didn't say foreskin here. I'm not going to.
I just love that this sets in my mind a precedent that if I say something like that, Matt won't immediately jump on me and be like, "Alex, I can't believe you can't."
No, I won't.
Just sort of bewildered cogitation was the response.
I love how you're trying to make the case that you're allowed to say foreskin on the channel. It's like, no, we're not trying to prevent you from ever saying it. The point is, for everyone else, totally
I've had enough
coming out
of this anti-foreskin bigotry that this channel has shown since day one. Alex saying, add Matt mentioning foreskins to the lines and veils. Well, if people do, then of course I will stop. But until they do, oh my God,
stop.
You better believe.
Prepare yourself for a tidal wave.
This has definitely won the award for Telling Tales one shot with the most mention of foreskins. It has. Sure.
It's about time. This award category has been on the cards for ages, and they're just like our one shots have been failing.
Inga's behind me. Inga's standing with me. Inga's standing on the right side of history, frankly.
You can go up to stage to collect that award. That's fine.
I'll say it, and I'm not afraid to say it anymore.
I'm just saying I don't want to know what that trophy looks like.
Oh my God. Well,
I just want everyone to know that when someone mentioned tidal wave and foreskins a few months ago, I had another thought which I then didn't go on to say.
I'm so proud.
So I am learning. I'm learning and I'm growing.
Reformed.
I'm learning and I'm growing, but I'm not sorry. Next comment.
Amazing.
Oh my God. No, I'm moving on from this.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm moving on to a different topic, which I'm going to bring this up, and Matt will happily explain it, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Steve said very M.R. James. I don't know how much he was just like, oh, that's reminiscent of M.R. James, or whether he directly got the reference. But the white linen creature, right, with the magical strip it was tied to, the cursed item, is completely a reference to an M.R. James story. An M.R. James story called Just Whistle and I'll Come to You, My Lad, which, my boy, something like that, something along those lines. I'm rereading my collection of M.R. James short stories at the moment, and yesterday I wrote the bulk of this one shot, and in the morning I randomly got to that story and read it. And that story is about a creature that's tied to like a whistle that someone finds, and it embodies itself as in white linen, right? And I read it and went, holy fuck, I just read this and I'm about to write a soft one-shot. And I thought, that's getting added as a creature. This is getting added to the one-shot. I'm basically just going to do it as a big reference to the story. It's called The Linen Lurker, and it will be in the bestiary of the zine. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. It was completely an M.R. James thing. Well fucking spotted.
Nice.
Next. Nightbites, this was a heck of an Easter gift of a stream, I'll say that much. Yeah. In retrospect, the choice to end the Kickstarter campaign and do a promotional one-shot of it on Easter Sunday, maybe that's why the backing numbers aren't rearing up as much as I expected at the 24-hour mark. But
It's good and bad. People have freedom to a certain extent.
Yeah, sure.
The dust bunnies were a good touch,
Yeah,
Yeah,
dust
they were
bunnies
good.
were
They were
very
dust
Eastery,
bunnies.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially
that'll do.
punching them.
Punching them. Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Is
It was
that
really fun
that's a
playing
lot?
that world.
That's
That's
a
a lot.
lot. So there we go, folks. And I would like to say a couple of people in the crew here aren't on like the group who are writing the zine. So as people coming to it pretty much blank. Alex and Inga, what was your take on the soft? Is it a world you'd spend more time in or read more about? I'm not asking you to back the zine. I'm just.
I mean,
Interesting.
I try to avoid spending too much time here, given the nature of the place. But no, I really enjoyed the setting. It's definitely like very evocative and like of stuff, and very kind of foreboding and kind of like I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
in a
it's,
like perverse way, like in a sort of creepy "oh bucket, get out of here" kind of way.
Yeah.
yes, it's a place I'm actively trying to escape, but but yeah, no, I enjoy the setting. I think it's a fun mix between sort of, it's almost got like a cozy horror kind of vibe, which I really like. So that's cool.
We were going for like a cross between like cozy horror, kind of gonzo cosmic horror, like more weird and almost funny than like directly spooky, and like a kind of backrooms liminal vibe.
Yes,
of like this weird kind of repetitive environment.
An infinite
and that's
interior.
definitely what we're going for. Yeah. It's definitely what we're going for. Awesome. Well, I'm really glad. It would have been sad if the two people had gone, don't really like it.
Not
Actually.
feeling it. Not
Definitely
feeling
wouldn't have
it.
made a zine about
or,
it.
or if I had burned it
Yeah.
down with my oil lantern.
So we've got some extra follows. So thank you to them. We have follows from Iron Father Heim, Zen Muso, and the appropriately named for the setting Patchington.
Perfect.
So there we go. Thank you, folks. One last little thing. If you are watching this before maybe about halfway through April 1st, go check out the Kickstarter campaign if you're interested. We'd love for a bit of extra backing. And if not, thank you for watching anyway. And we'll see you soon for more TTRPGs, probably more Troika down the line. Take care. Stay safe. Goodbye. Bye.